What's up, everyone? This is my second time trying to do this. Shout out to whoever it was who left a comment on my YouTube that told me pretty much my OBS was fucked and it was like weirdly zoomed in. But hopefully this time it will work, and I'm definitely going to double check before uploading. But welcome to the week 1 meta analysis for Fusion World Blazing Aura Set 2, whatever you want to call it. Now, to start off, we're just going to straight away address the elephant in the room, which is TOPKU and how dominant it is. Obviously, TOPKU did really well over the weekend. There were some stats being thrown out there. There was like 175 out of 200 players at the North Carolina Regionals played TOPKU. Whether that's true or not, I'm not entirely sure, but this was a graphic that was made up to those comments. So it is definitely one of those insane decks. Obviously, kind of after the first couple rounds, I know Lookout made a post saying after 2 to 3 rounds, we just couldn't find any undefeated decks that wasn't just TOPKU. So all the matches on stream were TOPKU mirrors. So it is quite dominant TOPKU. There's a couple things I want to say about Tier 0 formats to start off with. In Tier 0 formats, there's no decks that can ever compete. I don't think we're in a format where TOPKU is obviously the best deck. However, I do think after 2 to 3 weeks of people really testing and trying other decks, stuff like Blue and even Red Beers will be able to out there and fully counter TOPKU to make it a lot harder. Obviously, it'll still be a good deck. It'll still be a deck a lot of people play, but I think these other decks will be able to keep up, especially with TOPKU. Now, that being said, Tier 0 formats aren't actually the worst formats to play competitively. In Tier 0 formats, a lot of the time, the mirror matches can be quite skilled because a deck to be strong, it has to be strong, and it also has to have room to for skill expression in most circumstances, right? I haven't played too many TOPKU mirrors myself, but there is the potential, from what I've seen kind of on streams, that there's a lot of room for outplay in the TOPKU mirror, just like managing board and all those small things. So I do think there is definitely a chance for these TOPKU mirrors to be quite skill-based. So for competitive players, best players will still make top 16. And to me, this is kind of this kind of works and is kind of already shown. We already have evidence of this with Andrew Devol winning the NA regionals. Now, for those who don't know who Andrew Devol is, he's a former world champion for Dragon Ball Supercard Game Masters, 2-time NA regional Nats winner, maybe 3, but he won 2 in a row and then didn't play this last year. But he has dominated Masters and is like such a consistent and skilled player. So when someone like that will win an event, it generally means that like these mirror matches have to be relatively skillful. So don't be turned off too quickly, but let's start off by talking about what events we had this weekend. So we had NA, we had a Germany regionals, we had a Latin America regionals, and we had a regionals in Japan and Tokyo. In the video, we'll go over as much information as I can give you guys from all of these events. I know that in NA we had in top 16, 14 TOPKUs, 1 Beerus, 1 Goku. In Japan, 20 TOPKUs in top 32, 6 Beeruses, I think it was 3 Vegeta, and at least 1 Trunks, 1 Zamasu, and 1 Frieza. I'm not sure what the other 3 decks are. In Latin America, I know it was won by TOPKU, don't know anything else, and we'll talk about the NoHeroes regionals when we get to the deck list. But let's just start off and have a look at some deck lists at top. We'll start off with TOPKU and then we'll go to the non-TOPKU decks. So to start off with, this is the list that won the Tokyo regionals. I think this is probably one of the more consistent lists. What you'll see from the 2 Japanese lists that I will show you, they're both TOPKU. Japan builds decks in a very, very particular way, which is everything at 4 and then 2 cards at 3. Only ever running 50 cards. Max consistency. So that's kind of what you can see here. That does mean, though, there are certain cards that you just won't be able to run in your deck because you're only able to run 15 different cards in total. That seems like terrible math. 13 different cards in total. Apologies for my bad math. You're only able to run 13 different cards in total, so you have to choose those 13 cards wisely. Obviously, these are the ones chosen. Notable non-inclusions are going to be the 3-cost Kefla, as well as the 2-cost Caulifla Take a Life and Android 17. Moving on, I think the next list we have is Andrew Devol's winning list. As you can see, very different deck building style. Andrew here is running a bunch of 2-ofs in his deck, got that 1 of Caulifla, so it's like just the style of deck building is super different across the regions. But let's kind of go over some of the choices. So start off with the one of Caulifla. That's essentially being run as the 5th copy of Hit. So it's just, he obviously wants to see Hit, but if he doesn't see Hit, he still wants a Self-Awakener on turn 2, which is Caulifla. So that's kind of why, that's his logic for running like a 5th copy of a card. And then he has 3 ofs in the Goku, really good card, Android 17, Kefla, all super good cards. And then going down to his other TOP 3 ofs is 2 Caterpillar and 2 Carba. Caterpillar, when I've been playing the deck, is a card that I rarely play. Mind you, as I said before, I haven't played too many mirrors. So I don't know if it's a card that just like really shines in the mirror match. But I definitely understand from my experience why we're cutting it down. And the 2 of Carba, Carba's card I initially didn't like in the deck and didn't think it was worth an inclusion. And then kind of looking at, when I look at these lists, I try and understand what are the reasonings that these players may want to include these cards. And for me, Kaba is a card that you choose to run purely to help in the mirror match against just a Ribram dump. So if you ever have to take life to go down to 2 and you aren't able to kill them on the next turn, having a card like Kaba to like go Kefla play Kaba, to just sit there, and if you're able, especially if you're able to clear the rest of their board, right, you can kind of sit there and go, you have no board, you only have leader swing, I'm on 2 life. In this matchup, there is no way for you to clear my board, like clear my active mode Kaba, while still having enough energy to play Ribrianne, because you have to go like Gohan for 3 plus a second Gohan or Goku. That's 6 energy, so this is just not happening, right? As well as like playing Ribrianne, like in the mirror, it's just not happening. Theoretically, if you go to 6 energy, you can go Beerus plus, I guess in 6 and 5 energy you can clear it. So 6 energy you can go Beerus plus lead effect to play Rib, or on 5 energy you can go Whis plus Goku to kill it, and then Rib and dump, right? But that generally means you don't have then energy for Glimpse. You don't have energy for Glimpse, really hard to dump. So that's kind of the logic behind why Carba's in here. Obviously, it looks like he kind of has the counter to his own card, which is go to Kamehameha. Especially like if they clear your entire board, you can just go to Kamehameha it. Or if you have something on board, you just swing with leader, combo everything on top of that swing, and then you got no board, go to Kamehameha, Rib, dump, swing. So definitely a lot of versatility. Go Kamehameha is an interesting one. It's really good to kind of help you come back in the mirror. So if they clear your entire board, you can go to Kamehameha for 1, kill one of their bodies that's like pesky, and then you've got options to swing into and clear the rest of their board. Moving on though, this is the second pace list in Tokyo. So very similar to the first, exact same kind of concept, 4 ofs and then 2 3 ofs. This time it's Rib and Android 17 instead of Rib and Beerus. Difference between this Tokyo list and the first one is instead of hits, we're running Cauliflas. Instead of, I think it was the 1 cost Piccolo that we were running. Yeah, instead of the 1 cost Piccolo, we're running the 3 cost Kefla. And instead of Beerus, we're running Android 17. This is the last TOPKU I want to talk about. This is the second place list from Latin America. Don't have the first place list. The idea of the list is pretty similar. This person decided to forego the 1-drop Whis, instead kind of really aiming towards having a better second turn with both Caulifla and Hit, as well as running Strong Warrior of Universe 6 for those extra like turn 1 plays, just make sure it just wants to see a turn 2 Awakener. So if it doesn't see Roshi on 1, it makes like its turn 1 play is going to be Strong Warrior of U6, and if it does see Roshi on 1, it can still Strong Warrior of U6 search to make sure you also have a turn 2 play. So definitely super different idea behind it. Really, like, it means your Roshi gets like more value. However, late game the card's kind of dead, but we can always discard it off later. So there's never, I guess, a dead card with this leader, because you can always just like discard of your leader effect if it is dead. But the main thing with this deck is it's running 4 of the Sun Gohan. So if we go back, Devol was running 2, but I just want to talk about it in this deck because it's obviously running 4 of. This card to me is like super important in the mirror. Like once you get to 4 energy, it means you can play 2 things, right? You can lead effect to play Kefla to play something plus a 3 cost or more. Once you get to 5 energy, you can play double Kefla. Gohan is one of those cards which, to me, is you want to lead effect to play Kefla, and then you want to Gohan, and that's pretty much like your entire turn, right? You don't care about doing anything else. Gohan makes everything by 10. Then on board you have your 3 bodies plus your leader. you're swinging into their board, you're clearing their board. If they don't have Gohan to respond, you're in like a super favorable spot. They have to swing like 20Ks into your 20Ks, and you go, okay, this is a 10K combo, and then they can't clear your entire board. Whereas you get to swing 20Ks into 10Ks, and if they're comboing out with super combos, and you're taking those trades like every day of the week. So Gohan is a super valuable card for the mirror matches. Moving on, don't want to make the video too long. We'll talk about the winning list from Germany. It's actually going to be Beerus. It wasn't TOPKU. Beerus is one of those decks that I put in my tier list, being A tier as like the deck that has the most potential on paper and like straight away easy to look at to beat TOPKU, and that's just because the leader neg 10 just helps you clear their board, so their board isn't as scary. Being a red deck, you can still play your own Kefla. You still have like a lot of potential using Whis and stuff to remove their Roshis. Playing when they play and swing with hit, you can swing your leader into the hit, so they'll lose a card in hand, which is honestly quite valuable. Just their hand size is always going to be a bit more important than like your hand size, right? Because if you can get their hand down like super low, once you play Kefla and clear their board, it's very hard for them to kind of come back. So that's definitely quite important. Obviously, it's running 6 Whis. This is just, we just want to be able to respond to their Roshi. It's not running hit, which kind of makes sense because as this deck, you definitely want to awaken, especially into TOPKU. So we just want to be able to on-play take our own life instead of having to swing into them to help them awaken. Whereas TOPKU will swing into us to help us awaken to play their hit. So we're kind of happy with those exchanges. Obviously, if they play hit first and swing into us, we sometimes like being able to play our own hit back in response is really good. But we kind of just have to like forego that. We always have the option of doing Goku to take a life and KO the hit. However, I do definitely think if you're going second, you want to save your energy market for turn 3 playing Kefla to respond to their Kefla. But that is the Beerus list. Mind you, we've got this Ramushi doesn't really do anything into the red matchup, but this list does kind of expect there to be 1 or 2 other decks out there, so it's really good into Goku Black and to Green, just helps you clear their board super effectively, which is definitely nice, as well as just kind of developing a body. The BRS is really important to have against the TOP matchup. This list was run by 2 players, 2 friends who tested with each other, and they ended up coming first and second in the event with identical lists. This is another Beerus list I found, which got top 16 in Tokyo. Similar concept, it's got no 2-drop self-awakeners. Instead, it just has 20 turn 1 plays, which means turn 1 and turn 2, you're doing turn 1 plays, which honestly is super reasonable. We're just wanting to clear their board, and because our leader can swing into their battle card, it's essentially the same effect. We can just play double Roshi or stuff like that. The event alongside Roshi just lets us search. We've got Basils to search, so we hit our pieces. Early game isn't super important in the matchups, kind of like once Kefla's kind of get going, that's what matters. As long as we can clear their Roshi, we just want the game to go a bit longer, so we're running more Gokus. Like 3NG onwards is kind of where the game starts to matter a little bit more, and that's what this list is definitely focusing on, helping us have a better time once we get to that 3 energy. Now moving on, I think this is the last list I'm going to show you, and it is Blue Trunks. Now Blue Trunks was one of the decks I think we put in C tier in our tier list, and kind of looking, and since like talking with John, I think we'll both agreed that we've definitely put that list a little bit too low. Once again though, Japanese list, 11 4-ofs and then 2 3-ofs. It's always going to be the same way in Japan. It's very consistent. One thing to just quickly talk about, this Goku Black. I'm just going to use my cursor to point at it. This Goku Black here. Is this like a little pen? Ooh. Laser pointer. Oh, look at this. This Goku Black right here. It's actually, I got this list from TCG HQ Top Decks. This isn't meant to be this Goku Black. This is meant to be the 5-cost Vegeta Secret Rare. I had a look at who topped with it, and then searched the person up on Twitter, found them, and had a look at their list, and they're running a Vegeta. This deck just goes completely total. It goes, I'm not attacking. You attack me, I'll take my life, is what it is. I'm just going to deny you your self-awakeners. So how we do that, this 1-cost Zamasu, it's going to deny Roshi. This 3-cost Vegeta, we play without energy marker if we go second, or just play on 3 to respond to the hit. It bottom decks one of their 1 or less. If we miss this, we just bounce the hit back to the hand. And this bottom deck's one that 1 or less, but it's permanent, makes it bottom deck a 2 or less because it reduces all your opponent's battle cards cost by 1. We make sure we have 7 or less cards in hand, 8 including yourself, right? Because you have 8 you play and then you've got 7 or less, by just countering out of swings when they swing into our leader. And then kind of after that, when they do a careful play, we just Sinister Sickle bottom deck it. And the entire idea of the deck is for us to just wait out how many ever Keflers they have. So it's definitely like, it's a very turtle style deck. It does take a lot of effort to play. You've got to play it very meticulously, counter the right swings, leave energy open for Gallic Gun to stay alive. But the idea is we Sinister Sickle, we pass. They play more things, we Sinister Sickle, and we pass again, leaving energy open for Gallic Gun. They swing, we Gallic Gun, take a couple alive. And then once they've used 2 Keflers and the bottom deck both, they've had to, well, drawn 3 Keflers to play another one because they can't glimpse to get it back. So that's the idea of the deck. I'm super keen. I'm going to be building, not this exact list, but I'm definitely going to be building a blue Trunks deck, super similar to this, to kind of start the grind to see if we can find a deck that can compete with TOPKU. Anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Sorry for the double upload and the weird mistake. Hopefully, you guys will get to see this later on in the week. I will be uploading a more detailed meta analysis, mainly around TOPKU and the percentages of like people running certain ratios, just to help you guys deck build and decide which list you want to run in your events. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Really trying to get this grind up and going for YouTube again. So any help to help me grow, definitely appreciate. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.